Gemma here with The Real Nasty all the way from Austin, Texas. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. In today's Real Talk, we're going to talk about ghosting. Just kidding, not that kind of ghosting. So what is ghosting? Chances are that if you are dating or currently in the dating pool, you know what ghosting is. You've either been ghosted or been a ghost yourself. Shame. To those of you who don't know what ghosting is, basically, when you're getting involved with another person, romantically or otherwise, have seen each other a couple of times, one of the parties suddenly, for no apparent reason, decides to completely disappear off the face of the earth. No texts, no phone calls, for no apparent reason, they just no longer exist. Except for on social media. Somehow they still exist there and are very active. What happened? Why do people ghost? People ghost for all kinds of reasons. From not wanting to have that conversation because they're scared of confrontation, to not wanting to hurt the other person's feelings. Which honestly, I think it's the worst one because, yeah, getting broken up with is totally worse than you just pretending I don't exist. The fuck? What is that logic? To maybe they inadvertently ghosted. They were just talking to too many people at once. Happens. And somebody was bound to fall through the cracks and that just happened to be you. It sucks, but it happens. The root of all ghosting comes from emotional immaturity. According to Psychology Today, not me, but also me, ghosting is an emotionally immature response. Kind of like a fight or flight response, in which case it's flight. The act of ghosting is inherently very selfish. It comes from an inability to confront your own emotions. People who ghost do it to avoid their own emotional discomfort, simply by trying to avoid whatever the situation is. They just disappear, they just go away, so the situation will go away. Doing this, however, they completely disregard the fact that the other person also has, emotions and thoughts, and they are also going to be affected by that decision. Now, how does being ghosted feel? If you're lucky enough to not have been the victim of ghosting, then let me tell you, it feels fucking terrible. It really does. Not only are you left with no answer or idea of whatsoever of what happened, but you are also left with the idea that to that person you were not even worth a break. Not to mention the fact that if you're like me, you are going to drive yourself insane with overthinking about why that person just decided to no longer talk to you, completely delete you out of their life without a word on why. Also, if you're like me, you're going to obsess about it until you figure out why, which is not healthy at all. It took me a while to realize that, honestly. I've been ghosted a few times. I don't know why. Ghosting gives you zero cue on how to feel. You don't know whether you should be angry, sad, happy because they were actually a serial killer and they decided not to kill you. Like, your brain has no idea how to feel, how to react, so it just goes insane and down the rabbit hole of anxiety and overthinking you go. And that, in my opinion, is the worst part. So how do we deal with getting ghosted? I will tell you this, it's a lot easier said than done, but it's pretty simple. Being ghosted is definitely not fun, but there are two main things that you need to know about dealing with being ghosted that will eventually become second nature, and you will have zero problems with dating whatsoever, even if somebody decides to be a terrible ghost. First and foremost, you have to understand the action of ghosting, their action of ghosting you, is not a reflection on you whatsoever. It's a reflection on their incapability to cope with their own emotions and their emotional immaturity. It's not a reflection on you or your worth or your value. Second, don't take it personally. Even if it feels super personal, because yeah, it was a personal relationship and you were getting personally involved, emotionally involved, just don't take it personal, because what did I just say? It's not a reflection on you, it's a reflection on their character and their emotional immaturity. So you do you. Don't be like me. Don't let it take you 3 or 4 times somebody doing this for you to understand that you just need to let it go. If somebody ghosts you, if somebody decides to up and leave your life for no reason and without telling you why, let them go. They clearly didn't belong there, and if they don't need you in your life, you don't need them in yours. As simple as that. Don't let somebody else's action dictate how you're gonna feel today or tomorrow or the rest of your week or the rest of your year. Getting ghosted can be very hurtful, both emotionally and psychologically, but do not let somebody else's selfish actions control your ability to nurture and build healthy relationships in the future. Bottom line, ghosting is fucking awful. It is a passive-aggressive tactic. It is immature, rude, and downright emotionally and psychologically cruel. So don't do it. If you feel so compelled to do it, at least send them a text. If you really don't want to have a conversation, send one text telling them, hey, thanks, no thanks. Hey, In fact, I'm actually going to leave you guys a word-by-word short text in the description below that if you really don't know how to handle your ghost situation and you're about to ghost somebody, just copy and paste that into a text and send it to them. At least they'll have some closure and you can feel a little better about not being a piece of shit. And if you've been the victim of ghosting, fuck them. It's not you, it's them. They suck. You, go be you, go do your thing. Let them figure out their emotional bullshit on their own. And if you have ghosted, shame on you, first of all. That person did not need your emotional baggage on top of theirs, because I promise you, they're already dealing with their own shit. So don't do it again. In fact, go apologize right now. Text somebody and tell them, hey, I'm sorry. Sorry I ghosted you. I don't want to get back together or anything, but I'm sorry. At least, you know? You're alive and well. Be kind to one another. Just stop being terrible to each other whenever you date, or when you talk, or when you're seeing somebody, or when you're hanging out. We'll talk about those later. Just be kind to each other. Be honest. Leave the ghosting to the dead. Well guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also, let us know what you think. Leave a comment below. If you hated it, you loved it, whatever, let us know. Don't forget to check back in on Thursdays. We'll have a brand new sketch comedy video. This week's video is actually pretty special. We have a collaboration with Gina is a BAM, who is over somewhere. If you go back to our channel, that bitch is in there. Gina is a good friend of mine, and we decided to collaborate and film a video last week. She has part 1 up on her channel right now, and we are releasing part 2 on Thursday. So hit that notifications bell so you don't miss it. Also, did you see our social media? It's right here. Wait, right here. What side is it on? Follow us and let us know what you want us to talk about next week on Real Talk. Once again, I'm Gemma, and this has been Real Talk with the Real Nasty. We will see you next week. Bye! Bye. I should probably leave.